Let me take you on a bit of an odyssey here. 2019, that offseason was my first full-time on the Pirates beat, and one of the big stories that winter, after everyone was fired and everyone was rehired, was who is going to catch for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They had let go of Elias Diaz, who was viewed as a long-time, catcher of the future. Let him go. They tried a couple free agents, couldn't swing a trade. They went with Jacob Stallings. And for 2 years, Jacob Stallings was a very good catcher, a Gold Glover, a clubhouse leader. But a rebuilding club traded him. And then 2022, you had Roberto Perez, a one-year mercenary. Doesn't really work out. It just becomes a cavalcade of catchers off the waiver wire. 23, we see Endy Rodriguez get promoted. We see Henry Davis come up as a right fielder. Austin Hedges, another one-year mercenary, doesn't last the whole year. But you're like, okay, Endy Rodriguez is the catcher. And then he has the elbow surgery that winter. And in 24, Henry Davis, the other guy who was viewed as one of the catchers of the future, he struggles offensively while they trade for Joey Bart, who is a waiver wire deal, and he has a really good season. The outsider usurped the catcher position. You're like, okay, well, Joey Bart's the catcher of the future. Doesn't have a great 25. Endy has another elbow injury. Henry Davis struggles at the plate. 26 rolls around. Henry Davis struggling at the plate. Joey Bart struggling at the plate. Endy Rodriguez in AAA because he just needs at-bats. Endy comes up. He gets the opportunity, and he has really just run with it. If nothing else comes from that 2-minute preamble to this episode, it's me saying the Pirates have their catcher. Finally. It has been a journey, but finally. Good morning, and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf, and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. Wednesday was a much-needed offensive explosion, just a good quality win. Spencer Horwitz exits early, but Valdez gets some at-bats. He has a good game. Everyone besides Jared Triolo contributes offensively. Triolo makes a nice catch of the field. Braxton Ashcraft, 6 innings of just being gross. He is just so gross to watch pitch. He is having a hell of a season. Carmen Mlodzinski not pitching on what would have been his normal start day, and he goes and he throws the last 3 innings of this ball game. About as perfect a ball game as the Pirates have played this year. And at the center of it, I look at Endy Rodriguez, who had 2 hits. He had that big RBI double that broke this game open. 2 hits, hard hit balls. He drew a walk behind the plate, called a great game. He was in control. He challenged a couple times, won those challenges. It was one of those games where he showed, I feel like, why he belongs at the center of the diamond. Why the catcher position has always appealed to him. Because he could just take control of a ball game, and not to take any flowers away from Ashcraft or Mlodzinski or any of the other hitters. Endy was the guy watching this ball game Wednesday where it's like, yeah, he's just in complete control right now. And it's really felt like that a lot these last couple weeks, last couple months. Whenever he got called up, I remember doing one of these off beats and saying, like, you kind of have to make him the starter right now because he needs playing time, and you need a definitive answer. Is this guy a major leaguer or not? Now, a lot of his issues stem from the injuries. Not just that he hasn't been able to play games and contribute that way, but it also messed with the development timeline. He had to catch up. There's a lot of rehabbing, not as many games. In 2023, in general, wasn't a great year for him. Like 22, he really emerged as a prospect, was the minor league player of the year, positioned himself as like a real contender for the catcher of the future. 23, he has the elbow injury in the April. He doesn't get promoted until July. Whenever he does get promoted, doesn't really hit that well. Like defensively, game calling, having that feel of a major leaguer, he did all that. It just wasn't showing up on the back of the baseball card. It was enough to be like, okay, I like what I saw. The results will come. And whenever you have 2 years where you don't play, that the results will come mindset, you go, to borrow Rich Eisen phrase, you go to a higher register, it goes to, oh, the hits will come. Then you start for a year. The hits will come. And then the hits will come. That was kind of where we were with Endy coming into the year. And while he had a really good spring training, in my opinion, I just never really thought that he was going to be the opening day catcher or on that opening day roster, because he needed everyday at bats. He had a lot of baseball that he missed the last 2 years. He wasn't in a position to be in a timeshare behind the plate in the major leagues. He needed to be an everyday player. And I think you're seeing the results of that right now. The batting average is great. The stats are solid. The near 20% walk rate is really encouraging. Mechanically, I see a guy who is simplified. That the hands are quieter as he waits for the pitcher. He's getting his front foot down. That was a bit of an odyssey, especially last year. He adopted that big leg kick, and I don't think it helped his timing at all. This year, it's a simpler motion. I think he stays grounded better. He gets his front foot down better. I'm thinking this might be an article on Book Roll Bucks in the not-so-distant future, but it's a really solid showing. He looks like the type of guy that we all hoped he would be in 2022, 2023. And when you have someone who can do that, who can be so sure of himself behind the plate, call a good game, frame the ball well, it's kind of the whole package. Catcher has been such a mess in my time on the beat, of guys who are here for a good time, not a long time, and in a lot of those cases, not even that good of a time. You're just rolling through all the Tyler Heinemans and the Zach Collins and the Andrew Susaks and I can name every catcher they used in 2022. Can you? That's how. You know what? We're gonna pause it right there. Think of every catcher the Pittsburgh Pirates used in 2022. I'll rattle them all off for you after this commercial break.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Okay. It was Roberto Perez. It was Andrew Knapp. It was Josh Van Meter. Who remember that was the Josh Van Meter year? It was Michael Perez. It was Jason DeLay. It was Jose Godoy. And it was Zach Collins. These are the things that are forever put into my brain, after years of covering the Pittsburgh Pirates. I cannot tell you a single thing I learned in chemistry class in 10th grade, but, this is what's actually important. And I remember going through that 2022 year, just whoever behind the plate, but thinking, There are two guys in the minor leagues who could change this, who could take this job and keep it. And Henry Davis, as much as he's grown defensively, and he has shown that guy who is playing right field, he can be a major league catcher, and he's become a darn good one defensively. The bat is what it is. The bat is what it is. Endy was then the best option internally of can he just take this job and run with it. And yeah, I know I'm talking about roughly, 90, 100 plate appearances here. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to keep showing that what he is doing is able to be replicated long term. But if he's getting his front foot down, I think that's huge for his timing. And we're seeing really good swings, in part because he's getting the contact point out in front and he's driving the ball. We've always seen that whenever he makes contact, it could be quality contact. It could be hard. But right now, he's elevating it. He's driving the ball. He's putting it gap to gap. He's coming through in clutch situations. That was a big double that he hit on Wednesday. And this is a big part of the season. The Pirates season, there is no Bucktober if the Pirates do not take care of business in July. And I'm not saying they need to go on a long winning streak, but I have said the phrase, keep the head above water, countless times. That's all they really need to do right now. And it's tough. And without, O'Neal Cruz, without Connor Griffin, without a reliable bullpen, you need guys to step up offensively. And we've talked about how Brian Reynolds has. And we've talked about how, Jake Mangum and Callahan, two guys who maybe you wouldn't have expected to have. And the performance that, O'Hearn and Lau have had all year. Endy is entering that discussion too. He is having the best at-bats we have seen from him since he was a prospect in 2022. I know there's still concerns. I get why people would have pause about the elbow. Because for 3 straight years, he suffered some form of elbow injury. That is a real issue. That is something that's, I think, always going to be a boogeyman. But I don't think the Pirates make the Joey Bart trade if they weren't willing to go all in on Endy. Because even though Henry Davis is a very good defensive catcher now, if Endy went down, Henry Davis and Rafael Flores Jr. is a tough catching duo for a team that has postseason aspirations. Endy, on the other hand, provides a high upside offensively and a really good upside defensively, as well as just being one of the glue guys, being one of the guys who's keeping that clubhouse loose, who's keeping the pitchers in a good headspace, who's there to receive a good ball game. I watched Wednesday's game from the stands, actually, instead of the normal press box seats. And I really was drawn to just how he was taking control of that ball game. Like, Ryan O'Hearn had a fantastic ball game. Everyone contributed in some way to a win. And while I get Endy Rodriguez's stats may not have been the best on the night, they were really good. Might not have been the best out of everyone in the lineup. You might have taken O'Hearn's or Reynolds' production. I really felt like that game ran through the catcher. That's something that we haven't really seen a lot of from the Pirates in the 7 years I've covered this team. They have been looking for a catcher of the future. And I think there's a real good chance that he's in Pittsburgh right now. Thank you so much for listening to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you find a podcast, or check us out on YouTube if you want to see my smiling face in section 322. Or, hey, if you want to just hear more 2022 Buccos, if you want to reminisce about Cal Mitchell and Travis Swaggerty, and oh boy, we can do this all day. Chase DeYoung, great dude. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to cut myself off before I get to Aaron Fletcher and all the other 2022 Buccos. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.